This is Life Report, produced by Right to Life of Central California.
Welcome to Life Report. I am your new host, Rebecca Peerson, and I am here with Marcos Espinoza, our Director of Outreach from Right to Life Central California. Today we're going to be talking about 40 Days for Life, what that campaign is and what it truly does for our society. Marcos, we are currently on day 16 of our campaign. Tell us, how's it going out there?
I said it's going very well out there. We've had almost 200 volunteers come out and pray with us, and we know that there's a lot more people praying from home. So definitely the prayers are being heard. As far as results are concerned, 40 Days for Life is definitely working. We have had 3 confirmed saves here in Fresno of women who have actually walked out or drove out of the clinic and told us that they chose to keep their baby because we were out there.
Great. That's an incredible blessing. Now, I know we're scheduled to end our campaign on November 2nd, and we're going to be having a victory rally on November 3rd. So tell our viewers a little bit more about what the remaining needs are for the campaign, and then let them know a little bit about our victory rally.
Definitely for the rest of our campaign, we definitely still need prayers. Prayers is what moves 40 Days for Life. So I encourage everybody out there watching at home, please start praying. If you haven't done so, if you haven't prayed in the morning and afternoon, or when you have a break, pray from home. And if you have a chance to come out to the sidewalk, we would like those sidewalks to be filled with people. There's plenty of Christians, plenty of pro-life people here in Fresno. And if we can have you out, just choose one day to go out there during your break, during your lunch hour, and just come out and pray with us. It doesn't take much. You don't need to call ahead of time. Just show up to 650 North Fulton Street, the Planned Parenthood here in Fresno, and just come out and pray with us. If you want to get a little bit more involved, we are also in need of vigil leaders. These are the individuals that are in charge of the people praying and just making people feel safe and knowing that we're doing something out there positive for the community. And it's just a little more of a leadership role. And if you're interested in that, please give us a call so that we can help you get involved in that as well. And like you said, our victory rally, because we know God's doing great things. He has already done great things, but he will continue to act. Our victory rally will be November 3rd. And come in here, all these wonderful testimonies, wonderful. If you have an experience you would like to share, even if you've just been praying from home and maybe you've had an experience, sometimes God reveals things in different ways. So just please come out and support, come out and hear these beautiful testimonies and see what 40 Days for Life has done throughout these 40 days. And actually this year, our victory rally is going to be at St. James Anglican Cathedral, and it's going to be from 6 to 7. So come out and support us and just hear what wonderful things 40 Days for Life has done here in Fresno.
Now, Marcos, you said there have been several lives saved by the campaign locally here in Fresno. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Were you there for those change of hearts? Did you see that happen? Can you give us your testimony?
Definitely. I was able to be there for one. God always knows where to put us at what time. And, for the first 2 saves, we had, in the very first one, we had a woman driving out of the clinic. She had driven into the clinic, and she drove out. And before she drove out, she rolled down a window and she said, "Thank you for being out here. I'm going to keep my baby." So that was our very first one that someone actually verbally said, "I'm going to keep my baby and I'm not having an abortion." On the second occasion, we had a woman actually come off her car, and she came off her car, and one of our sidewalk counselors, one of our volunteers, reached out to her and they just said, wanted to give her a little more information and let her know, what goes on in there. So the lady came out and they talked for a few minutes. And after those few minutes, the lady told her, I'm going to keep my baby. Thank you for talking to me. She went right back in her car and she drove out of that parking lot. So just these two are a little bit different, than each other, but they're both very well cases of how different these situations can happen. The situation where I was present, it was a couple that had already gone into Planned Parenthood. They went in, they had a pregnancy test, they came out very emotional. They were both, in tears, they were kind of talking to each other, and I didn't want to interrupt, so I waited for them to start walking to their cars. When they were on their way to their car, I called out to them, and, I was able to talk to them and ask them, what's going on, if there's anything I can help. I have some information that may be able to relieve your stress, because I see that you're definitely, not having the best day of your life. And they let me know, yeah, we're pregnant, but we're not ready for a baby. We would like to have an abortion, and, we're going to schedule our abortion. So after hearing that from them, I just asked them, can I offer you some information? So I offered them a little bit of information, showed them a little bit of our fetal development cards, and gave them some encouragement that there's help out there. Obviously they had each other. It was a couple. It wasn't a girl by himself. That always helps out. Where there's a couple, and I'm able to talk to both of them at the same time. And they were willing to support each other. Say, well, I'm going to be here for you. And she was like, I really think he can be there for me. So it's just that kind of reaffirming that there is other options, that there is other things to do. So before they left, they told me they were going to be keeping their baby and they were not going to be scheduling an abortion. They really appreciated the information that we gave them. And sometimes, we're not experts, we're not counselors out there, but simply sometimes people don't know that there is options out there and that there is help, and we're just basically facilitating that information to them to let them know that they're not alone. Whatever choice they choose to do, they're not alone. There's always help out there. So those have been some of the stories that we've heard out there. And besides these, there's been a lot of people who have, came to Jesus Christ, that have came to God and accepted God, even right there on the sidewalk. And some of our volunteers can attest to that as well.
That's amazing, Marcos. Thank you so much for sharing those stories with us. There are also remarkable stories coming out of the national campaign for 40 Days for Life, including a story out of St. Louis, Missouri, where a woman actually came back to the abortion clinic where she had initially went to have an abortion to show the volunteers a picture of her 7-month-old son. She told the volunteers, "My son is here because of you." She had decided not to have an abortion that day, and 7 months later, he is a happy, healthy little boy. These stories are inspiration and keep us going in our fight to end abortion. So thank you, Marcos, very much.
You're welcome.
40 Days for Life is not only saving lives here in our local community, but it is also saving lives nationwide. Since beginning the most recent campaign on September 24th, more than 143 lives have been saved. 100,000 volunteers have come out to stand in solidarity and peaceful prayer over 253 locations across 10 countries. Now, 40 Days for Life began in 2007, and since its inception, we have had 625,000 volunteers come out and pray with us. This has happened over 539 locations throughout the world, and almost 9,000 babies' lives have been saved since 40 Days for Life first began. We have also seen, as a direct result of 40 Days for Life, 101 abortion clinic workers have left their positions within the abortion clinics, and 54 clinics have effectively closed their doors. This is all tremendous outpouring of support from our volunteers, and it's making a tremendous impact on not only the abortion industry, but it's also changing hearts and minds throughout the world. Coming up in our next segment, we'll be out on the street talking to a few of these volunteers. They'll be going into why they come out for 40 Days for Life, what their most memorable experiences are, and you'll get to see firsthand the impact that we're having on the community. If you'd like to find out more information about how you can be involved with 40 Days for Life, visit 40daysfresno.org, or outside of Fresno, visit 40daysforlife.org. Now, we're talking about 40 Days for Life, so if you or someone you know is in crisis and needs information, please visit pregnancycarecenter.com. And you can always access all of this information on our website at righttolifeca.org.
40 Days for Life is an international community-based campaign for the end of abortion through peaceful prayer, fasting, and community outreach. Our fall campaign will be from September 24th to November 2nd. Join us as we pray in front of Planned Parenthood to end abortion in Fresno. Call us at 559-229-2229 or visit righttolifeca.org to get involved.
Welcome back to Life Report. This past week, I went out on the streets down at Planned Parenthood, where our 40 Days for Life campaign is currently active and in motion. I was able to speak to a few of our volunteers, and I asked them some pretty important questions that I feel a lot of people would love to know the answers to.
This group that comes with me, we are coming in from Reedley, California. We have signed up to do 1 hour during those 40 Days for Life. We do 1 hour a week.
I've been coming out here on my own with another couple of people for 25 years.
I had been asking people to come out, and I thought to myself, well, you know what, if I'm going to be asking people to come out and to be a part of this wonderful ministry, then I should be the first one to be out here to help support pro-life.
I really felt the Holy Spirit move me to initially just to be out here. I felt like I really needed to be a witness rather than being in my home or in my church praying.
Basically, we're praying to God, and we're here as a witness to God, that being here for God, that all this is happening behind us, that there's babies being killed in this building right behind us, and to think that we cannot be here is just unthinkable. I think we should be here actually not only on the 40 Days for Life, but the whole year long.
I think that the more people are out here, the more strength we show, and strength is in numbers, and I think that would help the young ladies and the women that come in to see that maybe there is another option, maybe there is another choice. So just being out here having silent prayer and just having a lot of support out here, I think maybe that could change someone's mind. I think that just alone would be a big help.
If there's a kid being killed up the street, we'd all be running up there to defend that kid. Well, we're here basically in a peaceful, quiet prayer, praying to God that God will intervene and help change the minds and hearts of the people that enter this building and the people that also work in the building.
You got to know that it's got to be hard for them to see what happens in there day in and day out, and they really need our prayers more than anybody, because they're availing themselves to this horrific thing that's happening inside these abortion clinics.
We're not here to confront them, to criticize them. We're just here to tell them about the alternatives and to pray to God, and hopefully them seeing us out here praying peacefully, they will stop and think, hey, what am I doing in this building?
No one wins anybody over with harshness and cruelty or hard words. We have to be kind and loving, and we have to just show people that there's another way.
I just wanted to be out here to show them that somebody cares about their babies, that cares about them, and also about the people who work in these facilities.
The more people that are out here, not only showing our support for pro-life, but also to let these young women know, and all women, that we're here to support them and also to help them, not only just to be out here to pray to end abortion, but also to show that support, and there is help and there are options out there.
When I talk to the girls, I try to do it with love and kindness, and to show them that there are many people who will help them in their pregnancy if they have a trial hardship. And there's many agencies like Pregnancy Care Center that will treat them with great respect and confidentiality.
Whatever crisis you're in, those things can be overcome, and first and foremost, I think prayer is so important in the lives of these women who are in crisis pregnancies.
If someone will talk to us at any length of time, they usually go away convinced that this is not the place to come. We can show them enough love and give them enough literature that they will at least consider not coming to this place.
For the sake of these women who are in crisis pregnancies, and especially for the sake of their unborn babies.
We need to speak up for them. There's no one else to do it except those who are committed to life and who love the Lord. So we come here and we rely totally on God, because we really can't change a person's mind. It's God who changes their hearts.
It's been a very positive experience as far as initially I was quite fearful of what I was going to encounter being out here.
Some of it is just seeing other people come in here. There's other people sometimes will show them the alternatives that there is for abortion. They'll introduce them to the Pregnancy Care Center, and to see some of those people actually change their mind and take the information for the Pregnancy Care Center, and you can see them going away with a sense of relief that there is another option out there rather than the option of abortion that we have here at Planned Parenthood.
And my best experience is when I have talked to people here and they actually have changed their minds about staying here or coming to this place.
To know that you're doing something, that you're fighting the battle, that you're not just saying you're going to, you're actually doing it.
There's no other reason except that. It's the right thing to do, and the babies can't speak for themselves, and we need to speak up for them. All they need to do is come over and pray in their own heart, in their own way. They don't even have to pray like other people pray. They can read a book, read their Bible. All of it is prayer.
Prayer is our most powerful weapon against this horrible thing.
It was so easy to get involved. People are very supportive, and they kind of walk you through every little step of the way. So I encourage you to come out and stand with us, be witnesses. I invite you to come out and witness with us in silent prayer. Nobody's asking you to do anything scary or dangerous. I mean, you're just standing out here and praying for the lives of the unborn, for their moms and for the employees, for the fathers also. They need our prayers.
And I want to go and meet my Maker with, I have tried to do something to end abortion. There's a lot of people out there. We're traveling in 25 miles from Reedley every day, and this city of Fresno has over 500,000 people in it. And if every church and parish came here the same as we're coming in from Reedley, I don't want to brag about us out in Reedley, but if they were coming from the local churches here, both the Catholic and all the other churches, and spending the same amount of time as our church is spending here, this sidewalk would be crowded with 100 people every hour during those 40 days. And I really do believe that if all those churches took part, Planned Parenthood would cease operating here in Fresno. We just need to get large numbers of people out here during the 40 days for life, and it's a large number just praying the same as our group behind us here are praying. We just say the rosary. That's what we do every hour that we come. We're not doing anything else.
If you'd like to find out more information about how you can be involved with 40 Days for Life, visit 40daysfresno.org, or outside of Fresno, visit 40daysforlife.org. Now, we're talking about 40 Days for Life, so if you or someone you know is in crisis and needs information, please visit pregnancycarecenter.com. And you can always access all of this information on our website at righttolifeca.org.
And now your pro-life tip, brought to you by Right to Life of Central California. Find common ground. Remember, it needs to be specific and genuine common ground. It fuels your conversations and creates positive feelings between parties. If you already agree with someone, why not point it out? For more common ground tips from Stephen Wagner, go to commongroundbook.com.
I'm Rebecca Peerson. Today we are talking about sidewalk counseling with our outreach director, Marcos Espinoza. Now, we'll begin with just a few questions, and then Marcos and I are actually going to give our viewers a brief look inside a sidewalk counseling session. First of all, Marcos, for those that do not know, what is sidewalk counseling?
So sidewalk counseling, simply put, is just us out there in front of an abortion clinic, giving information, talking to women, men, and families that are coming into the abortion clinic, and just giving them some other resources that they can use.
Great. Now, a question I get asked a lot, Marcos, is this legal? Can we actually do this without breaking laws?
Definitely. Under this freedom of speech, all this is legal. We do this perfectly. We're doing this in a public setting. And because it is a public street that we're on, everything from conversations, counseling, public prayer, signs, literature, and even just being out there sidewalk counseling, it's all legal. It's all legal as long as it does not affect public safety. And everything that we do, we're very respectful, and they would never do that.
Now, touching on the legality issue of sidewalk counseling, there's been a lot of talk lately in the media about this buffer zone law. Can you explain to our viewers a little bit about what that is, and do we have buffer zone laws here in Fresno?
These laws, what they do is they restrict sidewalk counselors from being really close to the clinic. So even though it is a public sidewalk, if there is a buffer zone in place, which sometimes is anywhere from 24 to 30 feet away, we cannot be within that area. So if you're in that area, you could be arrested. So it just kind of restricts us a little further away, which makes sidewalk counseling not as effective because you're a little bit further away from the clinic, and when you're reaching out, it's a little bit harder. Fortunately, here in Fresno, that does not apply. We do not have any buffer zones. We can be pretty close to the clinics here in Fresno, and to be able to reach out without yelling and in a compassionate way. So here in Fresno, we do not have to worry about that.
That's so great, Marcos. Now, my last question to you is a question that I'm sure a lot of people want to know the answer to, but are sometimes a little bit shy to ask. Is sidewalk counseling truly effective? Does this really save lives, or is we just out there talking?
Well, definitely. I think sidewalk counseling has proven to be effective. We have saved many lives here in Fresno through sidewalk counseling. Just like I said, we're not experts in many fields, but we do offer other resources and other things, because most women that come to get an abortion, they have not thought about it through. And we're there to make sure that they're thinking about it, that they know the implications of it, that they know the complications of an abortion, and that we're really there not just for the baby, because a lot of people think that's where we're there, but we're there for the woman. We're pro-woman just as much as we're pro-life. We want to help them not make the biggest mistake of their life. So we're there just to help them out and offer other resources. And this is definitely something that's very effective and has just helped a lot of women really make up their mind.
That's great. Now, Marcos, if someone out there who is watching wants to become involved and become a sidewalk counselor, what should they do? Should they contact you?
Well, definitely, if you are interested in becoming a sidewalk counselor, we are growing our sidewalk counseling ministry. We would like to be there year-round. We do have 40 Days for Life, where we're out there 40 days in a row, but we would like to schedule people there year-round, so we are definitely growing that ministry, and we will be having trainings pretty soon. So keep up with our website, keep up with our Facebook, and we're putting posts. We will be having more trainings on sidewalk counseling. But if you just want a little bit more specific information, please contact me either at marcos@rtlcc.org or through our website as well. So please contact me, and I have plenty of information because we want more sidewalk counselors. If that's something you're passionate about and you want to get more involved in, please contact me, and I will make sure that you get involved.
Great. Thank you so much, Marcos, for educating all of us on what sidewalk counseling is and the approach that we take to sidewalk counseling here at Right to Life Central California. Now, talking about that, we noticed that there's a lot of people out there who have either never participated in a sidewalk counseling session or do not really understand how we here at Right to Life Central California approach sidewalk counseling. I'm sure, as Marcos can attest to, there are many different ideas of how sidewalk counseling should go. Different organizations have different beliefs, and we here at Right to Life Central California have always believed that compassion and education is always the best way to approach any situation. And so right now, Marcos and I are going to go through a brief sidewalk counseling session. I'm going to challenge him with some questions and see how Marcos would respond with his training. So Marcos, first of all, when someone is entering into the abortion clinic, how do you get their attention? Do they approach you? Do you usually call out to them? How does the first interaction take place?
When we're out there outside of an abortion clinic, very rare that somebody would approach us. If they do approach us, that's a really good sign because they want information, and that'll be a really easy conversation to have and very easy to pass out information. But for the most part, we reach out. We reach out to them either, hey, do you have a minute? Can I talk to you? Can you just come over here and talk to me for a minute? Maybe I can help you. And we're very not intimidating. We're never out there in big groups. We like to keep it very. We want to be approachable. That's the choice. That's the word I'm trying to use. We want to be very approachable and making sure that we look like somebody that somebody would like to approach, so that we can give information. We don't have big graphic signs, and I want to differentiate. From 40 Days for Life and Sidewalk Counseling, they're totally two different ministries. In 40 Days for Life, we do have some signs out there. When we're doing Sidewalk Counseling, for the most part, we don't have any signs. Just a couple of us out there reaching out with compassion and being approachable.
So now, Marcos, if I was a woman that was going into one of these clinics, how would you get me to come talk to you? What would be the first thing you would say to me?
Yeah, the first thing we usually say is, do you have a minute? We know women have appointments and they need to get to them, but we say, they can always wait. What this choice that you're about to make, sometimes can't wait, and it deserves a little bit more thought, but we always reach out with just, do you have a minute to talk to me? Can I give you some information that might help you? Can I give you information about women's health care, which was some of the stuff that we offer?
Now, what would you say to a woman who has seen previous groups out there that maybe don't take the same approach, and so now she's on the defense, she has her guard up, and she says, well, what can you tell me that I haven't already heard? Aren't you just here to judge me? How would you respond in that situation?
And that's definitely our job as sidewalk counselors is, to make sure that they know why we're out there and that they know what kind of people that we are, and that they don't associate us with more aggressive groups that are out there yelling at them or screaming at them as they're going in. We want to make sure that they know that we're there to educate. So what we tell them is, we're just here to inform you. We know you're gonna choose this. This is gonna be your choice, because ultimately it is her choice. So this is your choice of whether you keep this child or not, but we really think that you should give it some thought, and you should really know both sides of the issue before you make this life-changing choice. And for a lot of women, we give a lot of our pregnancy care center information because they have awesome counseling. In no way we're trying to do what pregnancy care center does out there, because their people have been trained for many more hours, so we definitely try to refer them to them and just let them know that there's people out there that can help them with that choice, that can help them with a little bit more research and just making them more comfortable with the choice that they're going to make.
Well, and that does sound very compassionate. We here at Right to Life, Marcos and I both know that there are many reasons that women even consider abortion as an option for an unwanted pregnancy, one of the most common answers that we hear is, I just can't afford to have another baby. And when you're out there and you're sidewalk counseling and the woman has recognized that the choice she is about to make is one that she can't take back, but she says, Marcos, I can't do this. I already have 2 children. We can't afford the children we have. In today's economy, we know people are losing their jobs. What do you say to someone who says, I just cannot afford to have another baby right now?
Yeah, and definitely we want to assure these women that there is help out there, and because a lot of people don't realize all the help that there is out there for women that are expecting a child and women that have a child. So it's not just during their pregnancy. Pregnancy Care Center and other organizations also help after their pregnancy with even parenting classes. If they need diapers, if they need a stroller or car seats, all that stuff is pretty much given to them, and also with this education. So they're not alone. They're not as alone as they think they are, and there's a lot of resources out there that can help them. And we just want to make sure that they know that there's resources out there that they're not alone.
The last thing I would ask you, Marcos, is a topic of conversation that comes up a lot when we are having these conversations, and that is when we touch on the subject of adoption. Women that have other children say, how do you expect me to carry this baby to term? Give it up for adoption and explain that to my other children when I don't bring this baby home. How do you expect me to do that, to not become attached? Or for women that don't understand how the adoption process works, how could I carry my baby and never see it again? What would you respond to that with?
And we definitely partner with other with adoption agencies as well, and a lot of people don't know how different the adoption process is than it was a long time ago, and they're definitely not as complicated, and they have a lot more options for women. So I would really enforce that and say, you need to look into this, and look into how many ways adoption has changed. And a lot of these ways, make it easier for women to choose whether they want to see their child or not, and other choices that they can have.
That's amazing, Marcos. Thank you so much. It sounds like you are really doing your very best to educate women on all of the options available to them. Now, once again, I'd like to thank Marcos Espinoza, our Director of Outreach, for coming on and speaking with us today. Life Report is produced by Right to Life of Central California. You can get more information on any of the topics that we have discussed here or prior episodes at lifereport.org or righttolifeca.org. Again, I'm Rebecca Peerson from Marcos Espinoza. Thank you for watching Life Report. Have a wonderful day.
40 Days for Life is an international community-based campaign for the end of abortion through peaceful prayer, fasting, and community outreach. Our fall campaign will be from September 24th to November 2nd. Join us as we pray in front of Planned Parenthood to end abortion in Fresno. Call us at 559-229-2229 or visit righttolifeca.org to get involved.